103.5 The Beat, Miami's new #1 for hip-hop, R&B, and The Breakfast Club, Stichiz, is here for your pleasure. And this is a beautiful Friday. We have beautiful people here. Like we said, we have dreads, we have braids, we have no hair, and it's all good. What? American Black Film Festival happening, and we have this amazing cast with us here today. The cast of Sprinter! And you guys look so good. You smell good. So let us introduce ourselves so everybody knows who's who. So we'll start from left to right, yeah? From you, my friend here. So we'll grab into the microphone. So they got to hear you in the microphone. They want to hear your beautiful voice.
Playing Marcus Briggs.
Yes, Bryshere, come through.
This is Kadeem Wilson playing Germaine Sharp.
This is Dale Elliott playing Hakeem Sharp.
Nice.
I'm Chantal Jackson. I play Kerry Hall.
David Allen Grier. I'm the coach, baby. You know that.
We know, Coach. We're going to get to you, Coach, because you got some lines in the movie. I actually had a chance to see some of the movie, and I really loved it. I'm not going to lie to you, because and I read about the director, Storm, and I think one of the great things I loved about it is he was saying that he wanted to kind of shift the narrative of the regular movies that we see from Jamaica that we typically see. And talk about it.
Yeah, the film industry in Jamaica, we're kind of stereotyped right now in a way that majority of the films that are produced in Jamaica shows the inner city and crime and violence. This kinds of twisted to show that there are actually regular people in Jamaica have regular problems like a mom missing or a dad missing, which has never been done before.
Right.
Yeah.
So Storm did a great job
in bringing that out. And there's other stories to tell.
Other aspects, track and field is a big part of our culture. Music is a big part of our culture, and that's not usually highlighted in our films. So he wanted to kind of shift the narrative, as you were saying, and just show that, we're not just Rasta smoking weed on a beach. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think the great part about it was he was able to include all of that in the movie. You have the music, you see the Americans, you see the Jamaicans, and just the good vibes of it. So let's get to Akeem. Rasta Rocket. How did you feel about getting that character? Is this you had other roles, or was this your first major role?
This is my first acting job.
So what were you doing before?
Well, I'm an Instagram comedian. I make vines and videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have 100,000 followers.
Come through.
So I was doing okay, and then Storm kind of break the bar for me.
Nice.
I got a call, say, hey, I want you to come and audition for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes,
You're ready.
There. He said 4 o'clock, and I was there.
What do you remember that scene that you knew that it was like, oh, I got this in the bag. This is my role. Do you remember what scene that you did that you had to do?
No, I don't. Is what I remember the most about the audition was Storm said, hey, tell me about yourself. And then I was like, okay. I did track and field in high school. I went to Kingston College.
Right.
Easy.
My mom and my dad live abroad. And he was like, hey, you know that the movie I'm doing, this is actually what is going to happen in the movie.
Wow.
So in the back of my head, I was like, okay, I have an advantage. Work with me.
Beautiful. So it was meant for you, pretty much.
Destiny. I'd want to say that.
Definitely.
Beautiful. So let's talk about, I don't want to give too much away from the movie, right? But just the basis of Sprinter. Let's give the basis of it. Who wants to go first?
It's about a young track phenom, which Dale plays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm his coach. Basically, it's about me trying to mentor this young man and to help him reach his potential. Okay, I coached his older brother, who is really well known, really talented, but he blew it. He got injured. He got caught up in them streets. So I'm trying to keep him centered, trying to keep him on track.
Beautiful. Hey,
basically.
no pun
Now, one of
intended.
the things really quick, what Dale was talking about, which I didn't really know, is this phenomenon in Jamaica and a lot of other countries is the parents going abroad, because that's where they have to go to make money, to leave these kids with a relative or something, but they know this is for their own good, yet it's still painful. It's still confusing.
Right.
It's still hard to understand, because that's your mother.
Right.
That's your father. Why didn't you take me with you? And these are some of the things that we deal with, that I try to become
Coach
this father figure and tell him that his mom left for a good reason.
And your role, I think, Coach, is You had me cracking up throughout the whole movie because, I guess the cast, you guys could tell me how it was working.
Serious, no joke, man. No joking.
There was one scene in there that you just had me rolling, and I don't want to give it too much away because I'm waiting for you to bust out in like a comedic thing and do something
We're
real
doing
funny.
Serious work.
But your seriousness had me cracking up because there was this one. Can you do it for me? There's
I
this.
don't know.
Doug, there, zoom in on his face.
What I
There's
do?
a facial expression that you did when I think you were talking. Akeem was talking to a girl and you were just not having it, like a real.
He was
daddy
not.
look.
Oh, it was this one when I came in the.
Look at him.
Wait, I came in the dining hall,
Yes.
and he's there showing off for these girls. I'm like,
did that
I got to
daddy
go
face.
snatch this knucklehead, and we need to do this business.
Right.
But on a serious note, for the coach, this is do or die.
Right.
I'm trying to set this man up for success. To get out of this island, to put him on the world stage, and he's young.
Was that
He's
something?
a knucklehead.
Was that something that you can relate to? I guess in your life with your kids.
Oh yeah, man. I remember when I was 17 or 18. Older folks would be talking to me. I'd be like, first of all, your clothes are corny. You ain't even look right. I mean, this is not me. You didn't do it right. I know what I'm doing. Hard headed.
Right.
So just trying to guide him like that.
And
My
teach 'em.
character. Yeah.
Nice. And we'll get to. I think you're probably one of my favorite, Carrie.
Yeah.
Good girl. There's this line in there because I was writing them down, baby. When he said he called you follow fashion, what'd you say?
Oh, me not follow trend, me set trend.
I was kind of like, yes, yes.
That was actually, that's the scene I used to audition.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's what landed you the part.
Yeah.
And you have this thing about you, your role. It's kind of like sassy, but still you mean well, but still very like, you're not going to try me. You're not going to play me today. Attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude. That's what it was. Was that something, was her character, Carrie's character, somebody that you can relate to? Or where did you channel that?
Well, really, when Storm told me about it, well, as David was saying, there's this barrel picnic phenomenon in Jamaica, which is basically when your mother or father leaves and they send barrels of gifts, Christmas time or summertime, which is kind of to compensate for them not being there.
Right.
So they send you a lot of things. So my character really was to be the missing mother figure in his life and best friend and try to guide him. So I like the fact that there wasn't a romantic relationship, which is what you usually see.
Kind of there, but not really.
It was more of to kind of guide him because he wanted to do this for his mother and to
Look
do
at
this
the
for
king.
his brother and not doing it for himself. And the coach and I really wanted to say, hey, you need to run for you. And that's when you see your full potential.
Beautiful.
So, the sassiness and everything is kind of like, get this thing done. I'm
Right.
not naturally sassy. David.
Wait.
I'm
There you
cool.
go. So was this like this on set? Was there like
Yes.
that?
Oh,
From joking
Yes.
on set?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could feel like you guys kind of got along and it was kind of easy to maneuver through the scripts and the set. So now we're gonna get into. I want to get into Brother and also Mr. USA. Brick Boy is what they called him in the movie. Brick Boy. So how was it working with everybody, Bryshere? Yeah. Let's get into you because I want them to hear your voice, baby.
It's great being part of such a great production. I knew it was going to be great. Just reading the script and looking at everything, working with everybody, and it just came together great. It took me I think 2 months to work with the coach and work with people teaching me how to run.
Right. Was that something you were used to in high school or when you were younger?
I ran track before.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like getting back in touch to those days.
you could say that.
And I really wanted to ask you because there were a couple lines that you had that were like, there was one scene where it was Brick Boy and also Akeem. That moment, I don't want to give it too much away.
Give it all up, girl.
I don't want to give it all up away.
Give it all up.
But there's a part where you do a certain little, and then it just throws Akeem off. And there's some lines that you say, you gonna cook me some jerk chicken. Was that something that you added, or was that actually in the script? How much of you did you ad-lib in the movie?
Yeah, we added some stuff, some lines. We just had fun in the moment, and I might say something to the lead.
Right.
He might say something to me.
Just bouncing
and
off each other.
We'll keep it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any connection with Jamaica or any Jamaican roots yourself?
Yeah, I love Jamaica. I got a lot of Jamaican
Enough said.
fans, so.
Yeah.
Enough said. Now let's get to the role of Germaine.
Yeah, man.
Germaine.
Germaine.
Yeah, man.
Because you're kind of the bad boy in the movie.
Yeah, you
It's
know.
like the same situation. You mean well.
Yeah.
But how was it playing alongside Mr. Akeem?
Well, you know, I know Akeem through a friend of mine that passed away. His that's uncle. He was a real good friend of mine. He was in a film that I did in the past called Get a Life. He co-starred with me, and he passed away. Dale was on the back of the bike when he died, and
Wow.
yeah, both of them, they crashed together, and he survived.
This is real.
Yeah, this is real. This is definitely real.
Oh, glory.
And you know, right after I won the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Arts and Culture, in 2014, Storm approached me and said to me, "Hey, let's work on the pilot for Sprinter." And I was like, "All right, cool, let's do this." At the time, I was working on other stuff, but you know, the process of me working on Sprinter was like a whole 2-year process for me, because I was working on it in the germinal stages as Akeem.
Right.
Because at that time I was the age, I was just young and budding, but you know, after a while, you know, I couldn't play the role. And then he introduced me to the older brother. And you know, after reading the script and digesting it a little bit, I was like, wow, this Brygenier is intense. He's a sprint champion. He's also overachiever when it comes onto the track and field. But you know, when you get to the level of that high level of competitiveness within the sport, you know, you burn out after a while.
Right.
And he got an injury, and he just could not. He was not himself after a while.
Right.
So, you know, he started to relapse, not necessarily relapse in a bad way, but he kind of went for the things that he knew best, like went back to the streets. He started hustling, and his hustle brought him to a lot of riches. He got a lot of stuff done, and through his brother's eyes, his brothers will see him as the successful person,
Right.
that is doing so well for himself, but he doesn't know how he got there. The track and field is something that we can all relate to when we see all these champions rise to be
Right.
these great athletes, these world-leading athletes. But sometimes we don't get to see the dark areas, the gray areas of how they do get there.
And the backstories of
The
it.
backstory.
Because and I think and I kind of want to delve into your I guess your personal lives, because like the main character Akeem, it's like, yes, everybody looks at you like, yes, he's running and he's doing good, but nobody can really see the back end on what you're struggling with. You're dealing with family issues.
Exactly.
Was that something, I'll go to each of you, was that something, I guess, in your own careers that you can relate to and talk about?
It's dope to be a part of a great story. You know, my fans, they love when I do drama, so I just felt like this was just a different stepping stone to show what I could do on a different platform, and we got it done.
Nice. Beautiful. Anybody else?
Well, Sprinter for me, it kind of hit close to heart because of the similarities that I have in my family
Right.
with the absence of my mother and my father. Sprinter actually got me in America. Although I still live in Jamaica, but Sprinter let me travel for the first time and meet my father. So this film is very special for me.
And this is real life. We're not talking about
Yeah,
movie.
real life, yeah.
Shot in Jamaica and also in LA.
Actually, my
Yes.
first time in America too.
Yes, and we gave him a nice little welcome.
So this is my debut film, my first. I know it won't be my last.
Many more to come, I'm sure.
Claim it.
Come through.
Yeah.
So growing up as a child, I went through a lot where, with the absence of my mother and my father, I lived with my grandmother in the inner city, Jamaica. Like what you guys call ghetto?
Right.
Yes. So,
So that's what you call
Yeah.
ghetto.
I was a very troublesome child. Yeah, and
Yo, bad boy. Yo, getting into
rude.
trouble.
So-
Rude.
and I realized that it was the absence of my mother and father. Like maybe things would have been different.
Right.
Like my life would have been on a different partner if they were here. But I'm so happy that things turned out the way they did. The drastic change in my life was when I lost my uncle in the bike accident. Because he was the one that says, he was like my only father figure.
He was kind of like that coach.
Yeah, yeah. because when he died, that's when I really started to do schoolwork. Like, I couldn't care less, like, what was my average when I was 15. Like, I didn't care. Yeah, so I turned my life around. I started doing schoolwork, and he was doing stuff that made me feel good. So, like, he was working, he did commercials. So when I was growing up and he died, I was like, okay, then I am not going to let him die in
Felt
vain.
compelled to keep going.
Yeah, so I need
Beautiful.
I need to better him. I need to do better than him. So that's why this film hits so close to home.
Beautiful. And you're doing well, brother. You're doing well. So keep on going, please. Keep on going.
Thank you.
So now, is there anything that you want to leave with the beautiful people? Because in essence, and I think you mentioned it, David Allen Grier, as far as track relating to life, and kind of same thing what you mentioned, is there anything that you want the people that are watching, no matter what age, because it can relate to anybody, what you want them to leave after watching the movie? That one thing. And we could go down to everybody.
You know what? To be an athlete, you can relate that to being a performer. A lot of times the public sees us on television. They see us at these award shows. They see you in magazines. But the public doesn't know, for, say, comedians, how many nights you spent grinding, how many nights you spent failing, getting yourself back up to get this moment of glory. It's the same with athletes. You got to go through the work. It is hard work. Most people left and right, they will fall by the wayside. You got to go past that in order to get this success. And in the end, it is worth it, because in my mind, Akeem's success as a track star, by the end of it, his world has already been changed. His worldview has already been changed, so that he can be a success beyond just that one moment in glory.
Come through, Coach.
Well, I'd say I would want people to appreciate the importance of family and having a strong foundation and supportive people around you, whether by blood or not, because Akeem needed family. And I think the coach, myself, his brother, his father, in the end, coming together to support this young man to get him to realize his potential. It's very important that we have grounded people around us to keep us focused. And when we fall by the wayside, there's somebody to come and say, come on, hold your head up, and you need to get this done. You know what I mean? So the importance of family and being true to people. And, you know, I experienced somewhat of a barrel picnic lifestyle because my mother, I understood it. My mother had to travel to work.
You saw the work.
You know, every 4 months she'd leave, come back. You know, she'd come back in time to get the school stuff ready, but she would not be present for some time.
Right.
And so I understood not having a parent, but I knew the importance of, you know, getting it done because I understood how hard she had to work.
Right.
Not everybody understands that because the emotional connection is not there. You know, the nurturing that we need from a very tender age. And so it's very important to surround ourselves with people outside of blood relatives who can give us that support. So, yeah, that's what I'll leave.
Deep. Y'all taking me deep, boy. I like it. I'll take it. I'll give it to you guys.
Well, for me, no, it's the same thing that just add on what Shanta was just saying. You know, we have to have like a hands-on approach when it comes on to raising our kids. A lot of the times we're in this dysfunctional homes. The parents are caught up doing whatsoever they're doing. They're trying to pay bills. They're not trying to keep up with their children and what they're doing.
Right.
And some of the times they are the ones that they need to hear from. We need to hear from our parents. All the people that were a part of this production, we're talking about like 90% of the Jamaican crew, cast and crew.
Beautiful.
That's
important.
Yeah, that worked on this film. We all feel like a family, and we all pulled together to make this happen. And you know, we couldn't have done it without each collective person that worked on it. So it is a testament to show that once we all come together and work together, we can do wonders and pull off a miracle. So I'm going to implore everybody that is out there, if you have kids, if you have talented kids, support your family, support your kids, support what we all do, and you know, let's do this together.
And support the
arts,
film.
And support the film.
Yes.
Sprinter,
Support the
yeah,
arts.
man.
Yeah.